tough time don't last, but tough people do. Keep pushing because brighter days are just ahead of you. Family, you're welcome back to my channel. You're welcome back to this video where we pick up from our setback and prepare for the new year. You have been enjoying these videos so far. I'd like you to give the thumbs up. I'd like you to subscribe. I'd like you to share to everyone in your surroundings. Today we are going to be talking about how to stay motivated during tough moments. How to stay motivated during tough times. I'll start by saying that you are a human being and everybody passes through tough times. Everybody passes through difficult moments. Everybody passes through a phase of their life where they see things not moving, things are just stuck up. And one of the resources that you need, or one of the energy that you need during this tough time, is what we call motivation. Motivation is what will help you to come out from these tough situations. Motivation is that factor that will help you to continue doing what you are doing even when you don't see the result. Let me share with you a story of mine that was really challenging. I call this the tough challenge of Hilda. So I'm sure I've already shared this story in this channel before. That is it should be my testimony of how I succeeded GCE. But when I was in Form 5, I wrote the public exam that is known as GCE, ordinary level. And when the results came out, when your name does not come out in the list, it means that you failed. It means I was supposed to repeat one more year in that class. So when the results came out, my name was not on the list of those who had passed. And I was so traumatized. I was disturbed. I was frustrated. It was challenging because my mom put in all what she had to put in for me to ensure that I made it in that exam. Working in the house, I wasn't working. Doing difficult things that at the end was that is because I had a lot of things to do. I was so free. I had a lot of time. So my mom just ensured that I was set apart just for that exam. And that was what got her really mad, because according to her, there was no reason why I should fail. So when the results came out, my name did not come out as I earlier said, and I was traumatized. I was traumatized. And I told God, this is not what we agreed at the beginning. This is not what we sat for at the beginning. And I said I was going to fast from the next day. Let me say the results came out on a Wednesday. I was going to fast for Thursday to when we will go to collect our transcript. If you are Cameroonian, you know that when you pass an official exam, there is always what they call a slip that shows all your papers, the amount of papers you wrote, the score, the papers you passed in, the grades that you had. So I told God I was going to fast from that moment right up to when I went to collect my slip. I began fasting. It wasn't easy, it was difficult, it was tough because nobody knew what I was going through. I was the only one. And during that fasting period, I had just one prayer point. Lord, turn this failure into success. Lord, make this a miracle that the day I go to collect my sleep, I will not see failure, but I will see pass. So I took this moment, I think it was more than a month and some few weeks for the slips were available, because the school had to go and collect them from the ministry or somewhere. So it had to take a long period of time for the slips to be available. So during that process, I took it as a personal retreat, and I was always asking God, please help me turn this failure into a success. So finally, when the slips were available, we went to school, and that day when I was going to school, I told the Lord, this is the last day, the D-Day has arrived. Help me to succeed, help me to see a miracle. And I was already thanking God because I don't know, I was just feeling like the Bible says when you ask, the next thing you should do is you should thank God. So I just thanking God. I thank the Lord for the success, the miracle He gave me. And I went to school to go and collect my transcript. Mind you, my lecturers already knew that I had failed. So when I arrived school, the first person I saw was my history lecturer, my history teacher, and he was like, Hilda, come. In me, I knew that with all the faith that I had, but there was still a little bit of fear. And I was like, why is this man calling me so passionately? Like he was I don't know how to say it, but the way that he was calling me, it looks like he had a good news for me. So I took all my courage, I went to him, I climbed on the stairs, I went to his office, and I was like, sir, I've come to collect my sleep as usual. And he said, clap for yourself. I'm like, hello, what is happening here? He said, clap for yourself. I'm like, sir, please, I came to collect my sleep. Just give me, let me see what is written on it. But within me, I knew that I asked God to turn that failure into a success. So in my mind, I was like, God, is my prayer point finally being answered? And that is how he gave my sleep. Instead of seeing a fail mark, I saw pass. And I passed in 6 papers. So when you're supposed to pass, you are supposed to pass as from 5 papers upward, and I passed in 6 papers. And I was so thankful. So this is my own tough situation that I faced, I went through. The next thing I would like you to know, we might be asking, why should you be motivated during tough times? Let me tell you, there are reasons why. Or you might be asking, why is that some people easily get discouraged when they face tough situations? By the way, they're not the only people that face those situations, but let me assure you that there are reasons why motivation fades during tough time. The first reason I have here is feeling overwhelmed or discouraged. Normally, you are going to be discouraged, and the burden of the problem will be so heavy, like it looks like I'm carrying a building and just place on your head. The next reason is because you're focusing a lot on failures instead of the progress. Mind you, I did not focus on my failure or on the failure that occurred when my results came out, but I focused on what God was able to do. Because during that period, I started to read the book, the New Testament, that is Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. And in those books, you see that there was a lot of miracles that Jesus did. And every miracle I read, I had to remind myself that if Jesus could do, if God could perform this miracle, then he could perform that same miracle in my life. And I ended up praying that God, please perform a miracle in my life. So one thing that takes away motivation, that fades motivation in tough times, is because you focus a lot on the problem and not on the progress, or not on the final result. The next thing is comparing yourself to others. I did not compare myself. Did I compare myself to others? Did I compare myself to others? Yes, I think I compared myself to some of my classmates. In fact, those who were sitting in the same surrounding with me, I was like, this person, like, I don't know if I compared myself or not, but I feel like I did compare myself together. I compared myself with others because I don't know why we are going to write the same exam. We receive the same lectures, and we were studying while I compared myself with my friends. Why? Because I was in a group, I had a group of friends, and we always studied together. Despite the fact that my mom always assured that I studied alone, but we were always studying. We had extra classes. We went for extra classes out of school. We had classes, repetition classes in school, and we were always together. So I was comparing myself, like, why is it that after having a group class or in my group, why was I the only one? We were 2 of us that failed. We were 2 of us that failed in our group, and I was like, why is it that the 2 of us are the only people that failed? Why? Like we were having the same lectures, we see the same number of teaching of lectures, we were always together. So I don't understand why I failed and others passed. So comparing yourself to others is one thing that will fade your motivation during tough times, and you should not engage in such an act. After hearing the various reasons why people's motivation fade during tough times, you might be asking, what then should you do to stay motivated during tough times? That is why I bring to you some few tips that will get you motivated during tough time. The first thing I have here is for you to shift your mind. Most of what the points I'm going to say, that points that I've already seen them in other series, in other videos, so I will not give details on it. Shift your mind. Focus on what you can control instead of what you can't. By that time, I was able to control my prayer life. I was able to control what I could do. What I could do at that time that will help me to receive a best, to obtain a good result. And the only thing I think I could do, I can offer myself at that time, was my intimacy with God and my Bible reading. Like, what else? That's the only thing I can offer myself at that time. The next thing is use positive affirmation and remind yourself that tough times are temporary. Remember, I said I was reading a book, the New Testament, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, and every miracle that I saw in those books, I took those miracles and I grounded it into my life. And I spoke positive words to myself. God, if you could do it to the woman with the issue of blood, if you could make blind Bartimaeus to see again, if you could heal the little girl. So I just use all those miracles and declare them upon my life that God, you are a miracle God. Do this thing in my life. Speak positively to yourself. I will not emphasize again on this point. The next thing I have here is going to set small and achievable goals. I've already spoken on this, and you should always set goals. Set goals that are realistic. Set goals that you know that you can do. The goal, I think I had 3 goals during that period. My first goal was to pray, to fast every day to when I had obtained my sleep, to pray every day, to read my Bible, my New Testament every day. When I say every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like it was constant. There was no day that I break or I skipped. It was every day. So set yourself attainable goals. The next thing I have is that you should create a routine. My routine was for me to fast, pray, read my Bible, declare positive things to myself, just assure myself that I could do this thing. And it's something that you should stay to. You should be consistent. Be consistent in that routine. The next thing is for you to surround yourself with positivity. Like, I have my siblings. It's true there's not know that I engaged in a fasting period, but every day they had to encourage me. They were encouraging me, especially when we had morning devotions and we were talking about a miracle or a negative situation that turned into a positive one. They always refer it to me that if this thing will happen to this person, then don't bother yourself, don't beat yourself up, because God is the same God. He will do it to you. When you are facing a difficult moment, please surround yourself with positive people. Surround yourself with people that can change your reasoning capacity. Surround yourself with friends, with classmates, with people that will help you to think in a positive manner. Limit exposure to negative influence. Like, if you see that anyone around you is going to be a negative influence or is going to bring negative energy closer to you, just disconnect yourself from that person, because that negative energy is not going to help you at that moment, and that is not what you need at that moment. The next thing for you to do to stay motivated is for you to learn from your setback. I already spoke about this point. See challenges as a stepping stone to success and growth rather than failure. Don't carry your challenge or your failure and carry it as a crown on your head. See it as a stepping point. See it as a point for God to enter and perform a miracle. The next point I have here is stay inspired. Read motivational books or look up success stories of people when you are in a tough time. As I said, my motivational book, I think the only book I read at that moment was my Bible. That was my motivational book, and you can never read the Bible and you're not motivated. Like, anyone that has passed through a tough time and read the Bible always overcame that situation. Like, my Bible was my motivational book, and it helped me to overcome the challenge and I'm so grateful to God. The next thing for you to do is take care of your body and mind. Like, it's not because you are going to be facing a challenge, or you are going to be in a tough time, that you just neglect yourself. Don't neglect yourself. Get enough rest, eat healthy, practice mindful meditation and prayers. I've always told you, everything you face, put God in it. Everything you face, put God in it. I don't know how I'm going to emphasize on this point. Like, you cannot explore on this earth, you cannot be successful on this earth without the energy of God, or without the hand of God involved. And that is why I took it to myself to seek God's face and plead on Him to turn that challenge into a success. The next thing I have for you to do is for you to focus on your why. Why have you decided to motivate yourself despite the fact that you are facing a tough moment? Here I wrote, write down your why and keep it visible as a daily reminder. Like, this is something I did not do, but I already had it in my mind. Like, when you are passing through challenges, there are some decisions that you will take in your life that nobody will force you to take those decisions, and nobody will force you to respect those decisions. So the book of Habakkuk tells us that you should write your vision and make it plain. So write the reason why you are engaging into this motivation, into this, why you are engaging into this motivation theme, despite the situation that you are facing. So write your reason. My reason was for me to collect my sleep at the end and have a pass mark. So you should always write your reasons and put, if I paste it in front of you, that when you wake up every morning, the first thing you see is your reminder that you have a goal to attain by the end of a certain period of time. When you do this, you are going to receive positive results. Be consistent. It is going to be difficult. I know it's going to be difficult. Be consistent. Be consistent. Write down decisions. Take down goals. Little goals. Attainable goals that you can achieve. So this is all the tips I have for you that will enable you to stay motivated during tough time. But before we close, I'd like to read to you this interesting quote that I wrote here. I encourage you to stay hopeful. Take one step at a time and believe in your ability to bounce back stronger. Remember, tough times don't last, but tough people do. Remember, tough times don't last, but tough people do. Keep pushing, because brighter days are just ahead of you. We have come to the end of this video. If it was interesting to you, please like, subscribe, and share to everyone in your surrounding. Like, come your way, keep loving, keep believing in Christ. You can do all things.